Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there's enough cash in the financial system, and there's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system.
Hey everybody, Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy Monday. Hope this is a start to a great week for you. We're looking here quickly at the numbers, and then we're going to discuss at a macro level all the initiatives that are being taken by, number one, the President of the United States, number two, the Federal Reserve, to try to stabilize and curb the bleeding a little bit here in light of a lot of negative numbers, perhaps a lack in confidence, you could argue, of the economic system and everything that's happening, obviously unfolding around us right now with this outbreak. Let's first take a look, however, at Bitcoin's market cap as well as the total crypto market cap, which sits at $176 billion right now. Bitcoin up a few percentage points today, which is nice to see, up 3.71% on the day, sitting at $6,312 currently. As you can see, other projects are generally up either a percentage point or two. Dominance hiking up at 65.7%. Guys, if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe to Altcoin Buzz below and stay tuned to the end of this video for information on how you can be the next winner of our weekly CryptoTag Zeus starter kit giveaway. All right, so not to get political at all, but if you're like me, you probably have a little bit of a libertarian flair, and maybe that's what got you excited about this space in the first place. Maybe that's what turned you on to cryptocurrencies, or maybe you're just more of a pessimist. You have a distrust for central banks and the Federal Reserve. Here's the latest at Altcoin Buzz IO tweeting about it. This is trillion. You almost got to count the zeros to know what to say, but $4 trillion will be printed, and this is in response, I should say, to Viz, with the announcement just about a day ago, breaking Congress to pass bill on Monday allowing the Federal Reserve to issue $4 trillion in liquidity for coronavirus relief. Again, $4 trillion will be printed. We talked about the liquidity crunch over the weekend and how whether you're in the traditional market system, whether you're in cryptocurrency, liquidity is a big deal. So whatever assets people have, whether digital or otherwise, they're going to try to liquidate them in this time of a cash crunch. This is one of the relief efforts that are going to be designed to help alleviate that and to help to reinstill confidence in the system. Confidence right now certainly is faltering, but $4 trillion, that's even more than I would have expected. Viz on Twitter here also sharing the following. The Federal Reserve says there is, quote, an infinite amount of cash. This is quite literally the reason Bitcoin was created. Right here. Let's take a listen.
You don't need to. Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there's enough cash in the financial system, and there's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system. I
don't know about you guys. Everybody's going to have their own kind of reaction to this type of news. Is it a good thing that the government is coming in and saving the day? Yeah, kind of, I suppose. I personally have a big problem for those, and this is not to disparage anybody out there if you're going through difficult times right now. I understand. I do have sympathy. However, I'll be honest, I'm not the most sympathetic person in the world. I am an individualist. And I kind of have an issue with people that live, voluntarily. Forget about people that are, living below their means and it's not their choice. But for those that live paycheck to paycheck, they have frivolous expenses. They don't kind of look to or plan for tomorrow. It really bothers me. For those that can and choose not to have savings in their checking account to the tune of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year's worth of salary, I don't understand it personally. I've lived all over the world. A lot of different cultures view that very differently. To me, it's not unusual to try to save 50, 60, 75% of your income and put it aside either for a rainy day or a disaster or just towards your own personal financial goals. And that's part of, really what bothers me in society. I know that we're never going to get over that hump. We're never going to get to a point where everybody feels the way I do. But, that's why I kind of look out for myself. And this is one situation that just kind of shows you anything can happen. So it's unfortunate because the adverse effects of the Federal Reserve printing $4 trillion worth of money is going to affect people like me that have done the responsible thing. This dilutes the entire supply of money, and this makes all of us poor for holding cash in our reserves, in our pockets, in our bank accounts. This absolutely destroys over time the value of money. Many of you have seen charts similar to this one, representing the US dollar purchasing power during the 20th century. And believe me, the chart extends into the 21st century as well. All of these crises, all of these different world events, certainly some of them had a positive, some of them had a negative impact, to be fair, on the dollar as well. But nothing to me really devalued the dollar more in the eyes of the world than the Richard Nixon administration that decoupled the value of American currency from the gold standard, and basically in that instance truly created a fiat currency that people gradually lost more and more confidence in. And this is just another example of dilution, and that's just another fancy word for inflation. These $4 trillion that are being inserted into the system right now serve as inflationary means by which to temporarily prop up consumer confidence and prop up a certain degree of financial and fiscal and monetary health. There's nothing real at the end of the day. There's nothing behind those $4 trillion. If people are out of work, they're out of work. We've talked about this now in several videos, the fact that labor is what ultimately gives any currency its value. So this is very concerning, at least to me. However, there are those that can perhaps find the silver lining in this instance. Charles Edwards just under a day ago tweeted the following: holding Bitcoin in 2020 is like shorting the housing market in 2008. Yes, it will hurt in the short term, but you know where this story ends. If you had not seen The Big Short, the movie from a few years ago, or read the fantastic book, by the way, by Michael Lewis, I would highly recommend both. Maybe start with the book. It's pretty cool. Brian Fallon here, also just in the last 20 hours or so. Mitch McConnell wants to give this guy, Steve Mnuchin, the discretion to decide how to dole out $500 billion in taxpayer funds and then allow him to hide the identity of the bailout recipients from the public for up to 6 months. This does not seem like a good idea. Of course, part of this discussion is also the fact that you have some of these industries, particularly in the US, that are so-called too big to fail, pretty much. We saw this in the last crisis of 2008, how the banks were bailed out. Now you're having a national discussion about whether or not we ought to bail out the airlines, the cruise ship industry, the hotel industry. You have individuals like Mr. Ackman, a billionaire investor, who's saying everything will go to zero, especially in the hotel world, if there's not a shutdown of a month, just to absolutely shut off the valves completely. Ackman says that unless we shut down the world for a month, everything is going to go to zero, because chains like the Hilton Hotel Group, of which he is an investor, cannot sustain months and months and months of zero revenue. He says it will all go to zero unless they take drastic action. The CEO of Marriott Hotel Group also had some similar comments. He basically said, I am taking zero income for the next year, zero salary. My executive board is going to reduce their salary by 50% in a symbolic gesture. I mean, it doesn't really do anything across the entirety of the world for them to reduce their salaries, but it is symbolic. And what he's saying is that this has been more destructive for them than World War II, than the Great Depression, and he feels that the worst, unfortunately, is yet to come. So that's kind of my perspective on things. Again, a little bit more of a libertarian. I think government has its place, but yeah, it bothers me when as soon as there's the slightest hiccup and as soon as people lose confidence and that the government, in this case the Federal Reserve, is going to swoop in and print $4 trillion to save people that, you know, in many cases should have saved up a little bit of money to begin with. Maybe that sounds cold, maybe that sounds rough, but that is my perspective. Nothing against those individuals that are experiencing hard times through no choice of their own, but it doesn't really hurt anybody to, as a best practice, save up a few months worth of salary for a rainy day. Have that rainy day fund. Let's end on a positive note here. At Akon, the entertainer and singer extraordinaire, excited to announce that Altcoin official has partnered with Chain to help navigate the crypto space and conduct a successful token generation event. And of course, Mr. Akon is linking here to the Altcoin Buzz article that we wrote up on the issue just the other day. Akon releases white paper for cryptocurrency launch. So there seems to be a little interaction here back and forth. Stay tuned. We hope to have more from Akon exclusively very soon. But that about wraps it up for today, everybody. Do be sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels and keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to receive notifications if you've enjoyed today's video. Best of luck if you choose to invest on this Monday, everybody. If you'd like to enter our upcoming contest, our giveaway for a CryptoTag Zoo starter kit, make sure you are subscribed to Altcoin Buzz on YouTube. Make sure you like our videos and comment on our videos. Good luck if you enter that contest. best. Have a great one, everybody. A great start to your week. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.